Hi, Julie South here from Vet Staff. Today I would like to talk about probation and trial clauses in individual employment agreements. So this is for practice managers, HR managers, and employees who are looking at perhaps changing their job, and you've got a brand new employment contract in front of you. So these are some things to consider and to know. Disclaimer, I am not an employment lawyer. If you need employment advice, specific employment advice, I recommend that you contact your employment lawyer. If you are an employee looking at a new job, considering a new job, and you would like to talk with an employment lawyer, please contact me and I can refer you to one. Let's start with probation periods. Firstly, probation periods are usually used by the bigger clinics because the threshold is 20 employees or more. Anything over 20 employees, they can only use a probation period. They cannot use a trial period. Probation periods must be written into employment agreements, and they must be discussed with the employee ahead of signing the agreement. They cannot come as a surprise to the employee. Probation periods can be applied to new employees moving into a different role. So, for example, it could be a vet nurse who's been nursing and she's moving into a newer elevated role as a practice manager, or he as a practice manager, and that's considered an existing employee in a new role. In those cases, a probation period can be included. They can also be used for employees starting fresh with a clinic, so a new employee. Fair process must be followed to give an employee every chance of success. Dismissal must be in accordance with the terms of the employee's employment agreement. So you must follow fair process. An employee has the right to respond to an employer's dismissal where a probation period is included, and an employee can pursue a personal grievance against the employer for unjustified dismissal. If an employee is a member of a union, the terms must match that of the union's collective contract. Trial periods are for the smaller clinics. So, for example, they must have 19 employees or fewer. They must be written into an employment agreement, and again, they must be discussed ahead of signing so that there are no nasty surprises. They can only be used for new employees starting fresh with a clinic, and they cannot be used for fixed-term or short-term hires. Again, they must be signed ahead of the start date. Now, if you are a practice manager or an HR manager and you think, I'll just get this new employee to sign it on the first day as soon as they turn up for work. Sorry, if you do that, it actually renders the trial period null and void. So make sure that the employment agreement has been signed ahead of the start date. A trial period removes the right of an employee to pursue a personal grievance against the employer for unjustified dismissal. Major difference between a trial period and a probation period is the right or not to pursue personal grievance. Again, it must match collective contract, and it can only be included in an employment agreement of a union member if it is actually in the union's collective contract agreement to start with. The employee with a trial period has no right to respond to dismissal. That's it. It's a one-sided dismissal. I hope you found this helpful. If you would like a PDF of the differences between a trial period and a probation period side by side so that you can compare each, please email me, julie@vetstaff.co.nz, and I will send it to you. Otherwise, if you would like to discuss with an employment lawyer, you would like an employment lawyer, you would like me to refer you to an employment lawyer, you can get a hold of me, 0800 483 869. You can text or WhatsApp me on 027 282 4155. This is Julie South from Vet Staff.